What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon White. In the last episode, my mom gave me the running shoes, so I can actually get around a lot more easily. Made it also to Striaton City after doing battle with Bianca and Charon. We explored the city a little bit, grabbed a few items, did, like I said, battle with Charon and stuff like that. And now, after talking to Charon, the gym leader, at least who I think is the gym leader, has reappeared at the gym, but let's talk to them. Yes, I am a gym leader of this town. You are? Right, you want to challenge the gym. In that case, what was the first Pokemon you chose? Snivy. I see. It's weak against Fire-type Pokemon. I think you need to prepare to face that type. For example, try training your Pokemon in the Dreamyard. Please excuse me now. So now we could try to go directly on into the gym, but I'm just going to tell you right now, that's a bad idea. Unless you are over-prepared and have been over-leveling your Pokemon, and are like completely relying on maybe something like a Lillipup or whatnot to do most of the damage for you, I just wouldn't even bother. No, we're going to head off to the very place that he mentioned, which is the Dreamyard. If we head over here, Dreamyard ahead, a place for novice trainers. Let's go on inside. So, as we step into this area, there is one new Pokemon that I want to discuss before we go any further. So let's go over that really quickly, and its name is Munna. Munna is a pure psychic type that evolves into Musharna when given a Moonstone. This is a surprisingly excellent early game option for the type, much like the Ralts and Abra lines before it, while being much easier to obtain. It has a great special attack stat, awesome defenses, and a great HP stat that make it a very hard-hitting tank. The one downside is that you'd better get used to this thing going last on almost every single turn because its speed stat is only 29. When it evolves. This one downside is going to be insurmountable until you can get access to something called Trick Room, which can't be obtained until pretty late in the game. But it's the only problem that this line has. It can dish out and take punishment with equal effectiveness, and its learn set is pretty darn strong, so long as you're patient enough to wait until level 37 for Munna to learn Psychic before evolving it. Alright, let's continue. So, we're going to be running into a multitude of trainers as we go through here, all to train my Snivy, but Snivy is actually not going to be doing most of the work, or at least I think is not going to be doing most of the work in the upcoming gym, or at least maybe. We'll see. Maybe things will be a little bit more different than we think, because the next gym is basically centered around type matching. It's all about having the Pokemon that is going to be weak or strongest against your own. And he said because we have Snivy, we have to worry about fire types going into that gym. So we need to get something that's actually going to be able to handle those fire types, but where do we get that exactly? Well, you'll get the answer as we proceed through the Dreamyard. For now, let's just continue to do some damage. Now, we could go catch a Munna, and that would be pretty great. I talked about that. I give it a pretty glowing review, I would like to say, because Munna is a really good Pokemon. Munna is kind of to this game what Ralts is to the Hoenn games, although not quite as strong in every single sense. While it's more defensive, it's obviously a lot slower, but still a really freaking good Pokemon, and just having a Psychic type that early on can do a lot for your team, especially as we get into the next gym after this one. So it's worth a thought, but it's not going to be something I'm adding to my team, unfortunately, because I have my team in mind. I do also want to dispel the notion, though, that I am only going to be catching 6 Pokemon throughout this playthrough. That is not true. I'm going to be catching more than that as we go through this, and some of the multiples of them are actually going to be getting quite a significant amount of screen time. So hopefully you're all looking forward to see what we get. This is going to be a bit more of a doozy of a Let's Play than a lot of the previous Pokemon ones. I don't know if it's going to be the longest. Probably won't be as long as Emerald, but I do have quite a bit to discuss as we go through things. And I'm just so excited, guys. I know this is episode 4, and we're already 2 weeks in at this point, but it's like I'm just starting with this still, and I can't get over. I'm finally doing it. Oh, I love this game. This is probably the only Pokemon game in the series that is on the short list that's available that I was super stoked to get to, more than any other. That's not to say that there aren't others I'm excited to talk about, but this one easily tops the list. So we can just get Arthur. I mean, honestly, if we play our cards right, we can get Arthur to evolve before we even leave Striaton at the rate that we're going. At least it certainly feels that way. I don't know, though. He could get a little too over-leveled here. All right, let's talk about this move right here, Growth. So Growth. The user's body grows all at once, raising the attack and special attack stats. So originally, Growth only used to raise special attack, but they actually buffed it so it works on both now. I am actually going to be getting rid of Leer for this exact move. Now, Leer is nice to have that physical, or to lower those defenses and whatnot, but this is something even better because I can carry it over from Pokemon to Pokemon as I knock them all out. I don't just lose all of the benefits of it the second the next Pokemon comes out. You know what I mean? So growth is a really, really nice one to have. I am definitely going to be trying to make that work in certain scenarios, probably not through the entire thing, but the entire game. And it's eventually obviously going to get replaced, but it is still something that is very helpful to have. And we actually are only a couple of levels away from one of Snivy's very first signature moves. Now I'm going to head up in here because we can grab this item really quickly. An X Defend. Thank you very much. And also, we can talk to this lady. Hey you, what was the first Pokemon you received? Snivy? Really? Then Panpour could be a big help. Your Snivy does not do well against Fire-type Pokemon. Say, do you want this Panpour of mine? Lady, I do, but before I take this Pokemon from you, I want to discuss the 3 elemental monkeys that you have as options for us. So really quickly, let's go over Panpour, Pansear, and Pansage. Panpour, Pansage, and Pansear are the 3 elemental monkeys and are all about equal in terms of power, each evolving when exposed to their respective elemental stones. Now, the one that you receive will always be the one weak to the type of starter that you picked, so I will be getting Panpour, but these Pokemon really aren't anything all that special. Their base stats are okay, with solid attack and special attack stats, a good speed stat, and only below average defenses. Their overall base stats sit at a hair under 500 when evolved, but it's really the monotyping that hurts them more than anything, like it does with any monotype Pokemon, and they do not have the moveset coverage nor the high enough base stats to make up for it like a starter Pokemon does. But I shouldn't be too immediately harsh, as the point of these Pokemon is to make up for a glaring weakness your team composition is sure to have right off the bat, and in that regard, they do fine. You will very likely find something better later on in the game, but in the early stages, they get the job done, and while likely to be a weaker team member in the later stages of the game, they can in some ways still hold their own. For Unova specifically, I would say that Pansear is going to have the best time of things, but why would you pick your starter with the monkey you'll receive in mind rather than the other way around? And now with all that said, let's take this Panpour off her hands. Use water type moves, so that makes it cool against fire types. So indeed, this monkey right here that we get is going to be used for the explicit purpose of covering the weaknesses of Snivy. Now I can name this thing, and seeing as how it's a female, I'm going to name it after one of the worst apes. I know it's a monkey, but I'm naming it after an ape from one of the worst ape-themed films of all freaking time. We're going to call her Amy. I know that's a really horrible reference to make, but that's what I'm doing anyway, because don't worry, Amy is not going to be in our party for a super long time. But the big benefit, as I said, not only does she cover the types, but she comes packing the exact move we need, which is Water Gun. So that is immediately something that's going to benefit us. We'll just keep Amy in the back of the party, though, for the time being. Like I said, she is not going to be a mainstay on this team. She is just going to be useful for the upcoming gym battle. Now that we've done all of that, why don't we head back on over this way and go challenge the gym, shall we? I mean, we're pretty much done, aren't we? I mean, there is like this one person we were supposed to go talk to, the Professor Jennifer. Maybe she'll turn up later. Let's head on inside. Okay, so as we head on into the gym, we're going to get stopped by the guy that was originally out front. Hello, I'm Clyde. I'm the guide for trainers challenging a Pokemon gym. We appreciate your challenging the gym. Take this to commemorate the occasion. And he gives me a glass of water. I mean, thank you. So actually, as of right now, that is a very good healing item he just gave me. Fresh water heals or restores the HP of one Pokemon by 50 points, which is the equivalent of a super potion. So that is pretty awesome. Now, as we approach these little, what do I call these? I guess they're buttons, these little tiles here, and the curtain in front of it. What we need to do is we need to figure out the type that is strong against the type displayed on the curtain, which is obviously water. We're just going to be doing that as we go through the gym. It's not what is weak to. I know it can be a little confusing. I think the first time I went through here, I was like, oh, grass, because that's what fire's strong against. And it was like, no. It's like, well, you're not really good at explaining it either way. Clyde will tell you. If you have any questions, just talk to Clyde. Anyway, these initial trainers we're going to be battling are all rocking normal types, which is the main reason why I have Arthur out in front here and decided not to immediately go with like Amy or anything. Now, you notice I am getting pretty low on Vine Whips. That is the main reason, because I am going to be going and healing before we actually challenge the gym itself, or the gym leader themselves, excuse me. So just bear with me, but I'm not going to really worry about my power points on Vine Whip too much. That's probably the one thing I hate about Vine Whip so much. I mean, aside from the fact that it's not a super strong move, it also has only 15 power points for no additional benefit. It's just kind of meant to be like the weak grass type move that almost every grass type can learn. Now we step on grass for the water curtain. That obviously means all that's left is to step on the fire button for the grass curtain, which we will be doing in due time. Specialty is Striaton Gym, the full course trainer deluxe. I am your second course. I mean, you know, when you phrase it like that, I don't know if I'm really... Okay, whatever. Waitress Tia. Oh, she's cute. So she's probably going to be rocking Pat Rats and Lillipups, and this would be a perfect time for me to start getting growth going. So let's do something with that. I'm sure they're going to throw like tail whips at me and whatnot, but if I can buff my attack up enough, we should be able to start sweeping these things quickly. Bite, interesting. So because we have the speed advantage, I'm not too worried about that move. It doesn't have same type attack bonus, so it's not too bad to deal with. 60 base power. I mean, it's still a pretty strong move, so it's going to be stronger than like our tackle, for instance, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So Pat Rat's going to use Leer now, which is a little scary. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tackle here, and then on the next Pokemon, I will heal to start the fight. Use a little bit of a potion. Level 14, though. That's pretty good. And Arthur doesn't get another move yet, but we got Purloin. Okay, you know what? I think I'll just keep from wasting a potion here and just have Arthur brute force his way through this thing. I think he can handle it. Because Purloin's probably not going to hit back too hard. Ooh! Almost one shot. And that's a sand attack, so I'm going to use Tackle just because of that high accuracy. Hope this lands, and it does. All right, nothing to worry about. And with that, Arthur gets a bit more experience. And there we go. All right, let's go step on this fire button. And this opens the way to the gym leaders. And I will meet you back here in just a moment with my team ready for this fight. And we're back. Okay, so I took one Oranberry and decided to put it on Arthur, just in case his health goes down a little bit. This is going to be kind of important. We are going to still keep him out in front, though, for the beginning of this fight, because as we proceed, let's talk to Silent. Welcome to the Striaton City Pokemon Gym. I'm Chili. I light things up with Fire-type Pokemon. I'm a Water-type specialist, and my name is Cress. Pleased to make your acquaintance. And my name is Silent. I like Grass-type Pokemon. You see, as for why there are three of us, oh, enough. Listen up. Three of us will decide whom you'll battle. It'll be based on the type of the first Pokemon you chose. That is indeed the case. And the partner you first chose was Grass-type, it seems. Ta-da! The Fire-type Scorcher Chili. That's me, will be your opponent. And so we begin by doing battle against Gym Leader Chili. Yeah! Time to play with fire. All right. So, for the very first gym in the game, we're going to be, like I said, doing battle against Chili. Now, all three of these brothers possess a Lillipup right off the bat that features the moves Bite and Work Up. Work Up is the signature move of this gym because, well, it's actually the TM we're going to be getting at the end, but also it is a very nice move that is basically the exact same thing as Growth. It increases attack and special attack, so it's pretty much good for anything to learn and is going to make Lillipup hit a lot harder. Now, thankfully, Lillipup does not have that same type of bonus Tackle. It's just got Bite on hand. That's not to say it's not going to still hurt a lot, because it is, but it is something to watch out for. This is the main reason I have the Oranberry on hand, because Chili's other Pokemon is going to be a little bit different. We'll talk about that when he actually sends it out. This is the Pokemon that is different between the three brothers and who they have. And I think you already probably have a pretty good idea as to what that might be, but we will just demonstrate once we actually get to it. Use Vine Whip here. And down goes Lillipup. Level 12, easily defeated. Some good experience. And I'm going to try to keep Arthur out for this, but I'm not counting on it to work super well. Next, we have Pansear. So whichever elemental monkey is weak against the elemental monkey you got is what they're going to have. So Chili has Pansear, Cress has Panpour, and Silent has Pansage. This Pansear, though, is probably the most annoying of the three monkeys because it is packing Incinerate. What's the problem with Incinerate, you might ask? Well, that's because that is a move that immediately gets rid of any held items or any berries that your Pokemon could have. So if this Pansear hits me with Incinerate here in a second, in the next turn or so, I might be in a little bit of trouble. So I'm going to do a little bit of damage with you, and then I'm actually going to switch on over to Amy, who is going to do the rest of this fight for me. Now, with that Work Up, Amy is probably going to be in a little bit of trouble here, but hopefully she's able to tank the not very effective damage from this move. In fact, she did a very good job of that, even with the 4-level difference. My goodness. So yeah, Pansear is packing, Incinerate, and Work Up. If it is Panpour, it's going to be Water Gun and Work Up, and if it's Pansage, it's Vine Whip and Work Up. Literally in that order is strongest to weakest. Pansear is the toughest one to deal with out of the 3 because Incinerate hits the hardest. And Pansage is the easiest to deal with because Vine Whip is kind of a joke of a move. It's not all that good. The only reason we're using it on Snivy is because it's all we have. And now goes Pansear. I just wanted to make sure that Snivy got some of the experience there because he is in desperate need of more of it. And with that, Arthur hits level 15. You got me. I am burned out. And that's it. The first gym is ours. Whoa, you're on fire. Well, it's the Pokemon League's rule. Take this gym badge. Beautiful. We received the Trio Badge from Chile. Gym badges are proof of a trainer's abilities. If you have one badge Pokemon, including the traded Pokemon up to level 20, will obey you without question. We also want you to have this, and it's the TM83 for Indeed Work Up. This is a move that pretty much any Pokemon in the game can learn with ease. You just slot it onto anything, it'll work great. If you use Work Up, the Pokemon's attack and special attack go up. By the way, TMs can be used as many times as you want. And this is another new thing that was added in Generation 5. TMs are no longer consumable. You can use them over and over and over and again. And thank goodness for that, because oh my goodness, that was something I needed very badly. Who are you? Hey there, I'm Fennel. Professor Juniper asked me to give you something. Please follow me. Okay. You're going to meet all of the Pokemon in the Unova region, am I right? Oh, the stairs are right here. My room is upstairs here. Come on, go. I'm coming. Jeez, calm down. So like I said, I'm Fennel, and as you can see, I'm a scientist. In fact, the subject I'm researching is trainers. Professor Juniper is my friend from college. She asked me to help you guys. So, I'll give you something to help you. This is a hidden machine for you, and we get the HM for Cut, which is going to come in great handy, and is also something we can now use now that we got the first gym down. There's some moves that a Pokemon can use even when it is not fighting. With this hidden machine, you can teach your Pokemon a move called Cut. It can cut down a small tree, and you can use the hidden machine as many times as you want, just like a TM. Isn't that great? But it's difficult to make a Pokemon forget a hidden move once it learns it. And I'd like to ask you a favor too. There's a place called the Dreamyard on the outskirts of Striaton City. I'd like some of the dream mist that a Pokemon there called Munna gives off. With that, I'll be able to use GameSync to collect save files of various trainers. Well, I mean, I would like to go get that, but that is a bit of a complicated scenario because the thing you're talking about, Fennel, is something that we kind of can't do. You're probably wondering why I'm heading back down here to Route 1. Well, there's a couple of reasons. First things first, I am going to take the HM, and I'm actually going to teach it to Patrat. So let me do that really quickly, because that is pretty much going to be Patrat's only use for us. Now, hilariously, Cut used to be a stronger move than Tackle, but now it's objectively worse in every single way. Less uses, lower accuracy, same amount of damage. You get the picture. It used to be better, but yeah, unfortunately not. So the reason I'm cutting that down is because there's a couple of items over here. First things first, we got a Great Ball. That could come in handy. And second of all, down here on the south side, we have a Super Potion to pair with our little freshwater. So now we've got some decent HP healing items. We're going to talk about one more thing in this area in the next episode, but I'm going to end this episode off by discussing the Pokemon Center changes, or more specifically, the Pokemon Mart changes. Like I said before, with every gym badge you get, the Mart inventory increases in size. And now we can take a look at the proper one, which includes Great Balls, Super Potions, Antidotes, Paralyze Heals, Awakenings, Burn Heals, Ice Heals, Escape Ropes, and Repels. Hold on, we suddenly have access to a whole lot of really good things, and I am going to be basically blowing all of my money on everything except for the Super Potions and Great Balls. I'm going to hold off on those. But Antidotes, Paralyze Heals, Awakenings, all that stuff, yeah, I'm going to be getting some of those, as well as some Repels to prevent Pokemon from popping up on wild grass in certain scenarios. So with all that said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon White. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it very, very much, and in the next episode, we're going to be talking about another Pokemon that can be caught on Route 2. Before I go any further, as well as going into the Dreamyard and seeing what we can find beyond there now that we have access to Cut. So with all that said, I will see you all in the next one.